Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Tony here. Tony's LPs are us. As you can tell by my tag, I'm doing a Beatle tag from Rachel's Ghost. Rachel had maybe 7 days away. What happened? I thought I lost my internet. Actually, this is take two. I was into this video about 10 minutes and I lost the internet and everything was erased on my StreamYard or whatever I do to format these. So this is take two, which means I should know what I'm talking about after I've done it almost once before. I'm just having a Rolling Rock. Rolling Rock is a beer that supposedly comes from spring water. I'm not sure about that, but it's a light. It's almost like a light beer. It's really it's really refreshing. So I just came in. I was cutting wood outside, chopping wood with an axe, and we've been experiencing high winds here in the Northeast and snow and terrible rain. And we lost power the other day for a day, and just now we lost power a few times. And while I was recording the video, that is on my first take, I lost the internet and power. So this is the second take, and keep my fingers crossed that we continue without incident. But no problem. I like doing these. I want to thank Rachel again. If you haven't checked out Rachel's channel, Rachel's Ghost, like I said, she has a VC channel. That's great. It's whimsical. It's fun. They talk obviously about music, about vinyl, but also about politics, cinema, books, you name it. Rachel will talk about it, and I want to give a shout out to her because Rachel helped me out when I was a young whippersnapper on the VC YouTube channel. I just started my channel about a year ago, and I was on Rachel's morning show. She asked me to come on. I did a few videos with her and the guests, and really great people come on her show regularly. So I want to thank Rachel, and I'm going to do this tag, and I hope you enjoyed. This is a fun one. This was an easy one for me because I knew when I saw the questions that what to go to, what record to go to, what record to show, etc. So there's 10 questions on this Beatle tag, and I've been watching other VCers doing it, and it's a lot of fun. Actually, when I was outside cutting wood, I was listening to some feeds through a Bluetooth. Yeah, I guess I have to get a life, but it's something to do, right? So the first question is, show your Beatle record that you have the most multiple copies of. And for me, that's easy. That's Revolver. I think I have 12 copies here or whatever, 12, 13 copies. What you can see above me is the mono box set and the stereo box set, the CD mono set. You also have the Beatles mono. So those have Revolver in it. I have a couple other Revolvers that are the new ones. And Revolver will probably rear its ugly head later on in this video for another question. But here we are, Revolver. These are multiple copies. These are German, British, UK, British. I believe I have a purple capital, green capital, rainbow. There's plenty of rainbow capitals in here. So Revolver, iconic. This is the one that started the psychedelia era for the Beatles. Rubber Soul kind of slid into it, but then Revolver came on, and Revolver's got my top 4, top 5 favorite Beatle records. Hard to distinguish. I love The White. I love Pepper, Magical Mystery Tour, but this is the one that they stopped touring. They actually concentrated on the studio stuff. Here's a nice apple, a Revolver. And this is a German pressing. And this is a, it says, because I have notes on here, I did these little labels that I printed up and copied, and I could, give my impressions. And when I pull the record, I know when I cleaned it, usually when I bought it, how much I paid for it. I do dead wax studies on it, do dead wax investigations on it, and I did each one of these on Discogs. So I learned that the green capital was desirable. And this one here is a Capital ST2576 stereo. Very little noise, louder than the UK or German. So this was $19.99 when it was purchased at a used record store. But there's my chart. So there you have it. Favorite, multiple copies. It would be Revolver. Next question is show bootleg. And I'm going to show this bootleg. I've seen a lot of these videos, Beatle tags, and not too many people have showed this. But this is my bootleg of the Beatles, introducing the Beatles. This is from VJ Records, and you could tell it's a bootleg, apparently, from the Beatles underneath the spindle hole should not be there. Introducing the Beatles on top of the spindle, and under the spindle is the Beatles. You can also tell that this is a very faded, almost like washed out cover. And I think Paul is cut, and on the original, Paul has more of a body to it, and there's no George Shadow. If there's a George Shadow, then it's an original. But this is a bootleg. This record was it's 60 years old this week, and that's one of the reasons I picked it. VJ Records was a small independent record company, I believe, from Chicago. It was a black-owned African-American company. I think it was Vivian and Jimmy. That's where we get the VG or VJ from, Vivian and Jimmy. And somehow they got the rights to market to press Beatle records in the early, what was it, 63, 64, I guess. And somehow Capitol woke up, and within a few months, the injunction came up, and Capitol got the rights to the contract to distribute Beatles here in America, in the States. And VJ continued to press the records as bootlegs. VJ actually bootlegged their own bootlegs. There's multiple variations of this. Please look it up. It's fascinating. Mr. Mayo just did a nice video, and I want to thank him for doing that Beatle tag video. I think he was talking about this record. I was talking about this record because of the 60th anniversary. So he was telling a little bit about the history of it. He didn't go into a lot of detail because it's out there there's some great videos that I forget a lot of the points, but a couple of the factors that I pointed out on this one. This is a bootleg. Next question is the last Beatle album that you bought. Now, most of what I've seen the last couple of weeks on the Beatle 2024 tag was the red and blue box set, or Now and Then, which is the obvious, most people would buy that record, and most Beatle fans, that's the last record they bought. Same with me. Last record I bought was the red and blue box set on vinyl. But then for Christmas, I got from Big John this record. So I'm including this as if I bought it. The Beatles, Pop Goes the Beatles. Now, this is an outstanding collection. This has all live performances from videos and concerts, and it's put onto this vinyl. For instance, Ed Sullivan, September 12th, 65, Ticket to Ride. The Saturday Club, February 15th, 1964, I Want to Be Your Man. The Convention Hall in Philly, 1964, I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's just Twist and Shout, Drop In, October 30th, 1963. It has stuff from Budokan on here. So I'm going to consider this the last Beatle record that I got. Favorite solo Beatle album. Now, for me, that's like saying, you have 4 children, who's your favorite child? And that's tough to do because I have a favorite Beatle. I love all the Beatles. I can rank them when I'm not going to do it. Ringo would probably be last. but no disrespect to Ringo. Without Ringo, they would not be the Beatles. But obviously, Ringo didn't write, the Beatles catalog. So what for this in this particular video, I'm going to go with George Harrison. Um, I always enjoy George Harrison's solo stuff. I listen to his solo stuff quite a bit. Listen to Wings quite a bit. Listen to Paul. Listen to John and Ringo. But I listen to George a lot. I really love George's solo stuff. And as we all know, George didn't get a chance to put out his output on the Beatle records up until a certain point. He was getting 1 or 2 tracks per album, if that. So he kind of had a lot of stuff in the catalog, on the shelf, if I may, in his booklets. So he had an outpouring of music for All Things Must Pass. Has to be one of my favorite solo Beatle records. For this Beatle tag 2024, I am going to show this one. It's a really nice copy of the Concert for Bangladesh. George was one of the first artists to do a chariot concert for a world Mother Nature's disaster, which was what was happening at the time in Bangladesh. This was groundbreaking. This is a great album. You have Badfinger on here. You have Ringo. You have Leon Russell. You have Clapton. You have Dylan. Dylan came out of basically retirement to help George and help support his cause. So this is it for that one. That's George Harrison's Concert for Bangladesh. If you haven't seen it, buy the video, the DVD, and unbelievable. Just so much fun. Cheers. And before I go on, I want to thank everyone again for watching the channel, subscribing, giving me thumbs up and likes and comments. I really like that, and I really enjoy doing this. The next one up is do a non-UK US Beatle pressing. Show that, and of course I'm going to show this one, which is the most desirable and renowned as one of the best sounding Beatle records of all time, and that's this German Magical Mystery Tour right there. And there's a picture of our hero from the film. This still has the original shrink on it, and I have another plastic. Here's the label. If you want to look at that, if you can see that there. So best sounding for me, one of the best sounding Beatle records I own. A lot of the remasters from Giles Martin's, do a great job. But this, for an original Beatle record that came out at the time the original UK was released and American was released, that's one of the best sounding and most desirable is the German pressing. You go online, they fetch a lot of money right now. The next one up is Show a Beatles single or EP, and I've been collecting Beatle records for 60 years, so I have a lot of Beatles singles, picture sleeves, and I got some box sets last year for Christmas. Big John got me the Christmas single box set, which had all the Christmas EPs or 45s that they sent to the fan clubs. You all know the story about that. But I'm going to show this one, one of my prized possessions. Swan Records was distributing the Beatles in the early 60s here in the States. Beatles, She Loves You, that's a picture sleeve. And there's the record. And picture sleeves the same on either side. This is in excellent shape. Unbelievable. The flip side of this is She Loves You and I'll Get You. Right there. So that's my Beatles single. Next up is show a non-Beatle artist that has a Beatle guest starring on it or involved somehow with the recording. Rolling Rock. Okay. And that's Doris Troy. Doris Troy was an R&B vocalist from the States. She produced, she wrote stuff. This is an original Apple, still in a shrink, and George Harrison produced this. George Harrison is on it. Ringo's also on it, and also Klaus Vorman. I believe Billy Preston may also be on it. But this record is going for a lot of money now, sealed on eBay. I just checked it out because I wanted to research it a bit to make sure I was getting the facts right that Ringo was also on it. So that's Doris Troy. That's the solo. Next up is the cover album of Beatle records, Beatle tunes from other artists. And I have quite a bit. I have a whole video of that, which runs over a half hour, 40 minutes, which I'll link. That shows all my Beatle cover bands or cover albums from other artists. And this is Koto, the Beatles. This is a Japanese pressing. It's a string ensemble, very beautiful. And here you can see the Japanese graphics, made in Japan. Here's the insert that was in it, right there. And I'll show you the label. And there's the label. But I'm cheating here. I'm showing two because this one is one of my favorite cover Beatle albums because it's varied and because of its rarity. I showed the other day on a Beatle tag I did for Rob Walker's vinyl tag, rather, and I showed my Pink Floyd Mojo release from the Mojo magazine from the UK, the music magazine. They give out on each magazine, there's a CD attached, and on a few occasions they actually attach an LP. And I have the Pink Floyd, and I also have this one, which is Beatles Let It Be Revisited. And this is fantastic. This has folks on it that I didn't really know, but I investigated them. People like C.D. Stone King doing Maggie May, Willie Johnson doing One After 909, Judy Collins, The Long and Winding Road, Pete Molinari, For You Blue, which obviously Badfinger, and there's the back there. But this is a really cool record. If you can pick this up online, I suggest you get this. And let me see, a non-Beatle, non-musical Beatle item, such as a book or a music sheets or whatever. And for this, I'm going to show a few things. I'm going to show this. This is a lava lamp type of thing for a Magical Mystery Tour. And if I turn it on, it revolves. You can see there. It's really cool. So that's one. And I did a short on this, which picks it up. My phone actually picked it up better than the camera here. It's actually too bright for some reason. But that's this lava lamp. I'm also going to show a UK 8-track with rock and roll music, which is one of my only UK 8-tracks. There's the back. Right there. And this is a prized possession. Also a cassette, a Yellow Submarine 8-track, original. But this actually comes in a sealed box. Not sealed, but this is, as you can see there, I'll hold it up, an 8-track promo for the Beatles Live at the Hollywood Bowl, first edition. In-store promotion only, not for sale. Has Dizzy Miss Lizzy, Twist and Shout, Ticket to Ride, Things We Said Today. And this works. This plays perfectly. And what this is this is probably one of the rarest promo Beatle items that you'll find. Normally, when a record came out, the record companies would send a promo to DJs and the record stores to play in store, play in studio, whatever. I think this is the case where the only promo made for in-play at record stores or for radio stations was an 8-track. And that's the story I found. If anybody out there knows, you Beatle people out there, me, Mr. Mayo, you guys like that, let me know. But extremely rare. I want to show it for this 2024 Rituals tag. So we have that, and these will go back in their case. And the last question is, thanks for bearing with me. Like I said, this is my almost my second take on this. I just hope I don't hit a loss of power again. And they want to pick your favorite Giles Martin remix in the last 8 or 10 years, whenever he was doing the remixes, and that's another tough one. There's so much to listen to, so much to study, but I love them all. I was actually at a presentation at, I believe it was the Record Plant in New York City, when Giles was releasing the White Album. I went with my good friend Lee Pfeiffer of Cinema Retro Magazine. He had got an invitation. He took me along. He knew I was a big Beatle fan, and Giles was there. We talked about it. We heard it we heard it through the studio. Talked about the Beatles. Did a Q&A. So I love the Beatles White remixes. But this one I'm picking today because one of my favorite Beatle records is Revolver, like I said, and I have multiple copies of Revolver. And once again, Revolver rears its ugly head. And if you haven't gotten this, these prices have come down quite a bit, I believe, on the secondary market, even Amazon. But this has a unbelievable mono mix on here of Revolver, plus the outtakes. It's original mono master. It has a remix stereo. It's just a booklet in there. This is my favorite for this video. Giles Martin's remix right there, and there's a sticker. You can see that. So there you have it. Rachel's Ghost Beatle tag 2024. I got it in under 30 minutes, which I'm happy about. Please, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the subscriptions that I do have, and I appreciate every one of you guys for doing what you do on the VC channels. This is not easy. A lot of work goes into some of them. I'm not doing any special editing, but some of you guys are amazing, like Melinda Murphy and Mazzy, and they do some great things. We give a shout out to Kenny's audiophile review, also Derek, who I've been watching for maybe 10 years, and he was inspirational for me to finally get a channel going, because I want to show stuff. So here again, the Lava Lamp, Magical Mystery Tour, Yellow Submarine stuff. So thanks a lot. Keep rocking, and hope you enjoy this video. Thank you very much. Peace. Thank you.